We just want to give it a few minutes, Alex.
Yeah. So anyone who's already joined, we're just going to wait a couple minutes, give people a chance to get in here, and we'll get going. All right. I think we can go ahead and get started, and might have a couple people joining late, but that's okay. So hello, everyone. Welcome to our XTIVIA live session, Considerations when Choosing a New CRM Solution, presented by Mike Ahrenhoersterbaeumer. My name is Alex Killian, and I'm the video editor and digital media specialist on XTIVIA's marketing team here. A little bit about our company. For over 25 years, XTIVIA has established a proven global reputation as a company delivering cutting-edge IT solutions and technology support for our clients' specific requirements, regardless of the complexity of the projects. Our CRM team was established in 1998 in the early stages of CRM application and development. We have over 100 years of CRM consulting, implementation, and training experience, including over 250 successful implementations, impacting thousands of users. Other service areas we offer include application development, business intelligence, data warehousing, database support and management, enterprise information management, and digital experience solutions. XTIVIA's success has stemmed from a proven ability to deliver quality professional services, allowing the client to leverage their chosen technology successfully, competitively, and profitably. And we have offices in Colorado, New York, New Jersey, Missouri, and Texas. A bit about our presenter today. Mike is a sales and account executive for CRM, and he's worked in the CRM practice here at XTIVIA for 7 years now. He has vast experience with many of the major CRM platforms, and he greatly enjoys helping companies find the right CRM solution and then seeing how that benefits their organization over time. So with that, I will pass it over to Mike for the presentation. If any questions come up during Mike's presentation, please submit them to the Q&A section, and we'll do our best to get all those answered at the end of the live session.
Thanks, Alex. Really appreciate the intro. So good morning, everyone. I really appreciate everybody's time this morning. As Alex said, my name is Mike Ahrenhoersterbaeumer, and I'm at the CRM practice here at XTIVIA. I've been here almost 7 years now. So what we want to run through today is a little bit about a 20-minute presentation to just kind of give you some thoughts and considerations around some things you need to look out for when choosing a new CRM platform. Whether you're already on a certain CRM solution and it's just not getting everything out of it that that you like, or you're looking at a new CRM. This is a brand new venture for you. So what our goal is, this is really our first live session, but our goal is to really do these quarterly. They're going to be short, 30-minute, but very informative sessions. Our goal is to really kind of take you through the entire CRM journey, right? So really the very first piece of that journey is which CRM you need to choose and what's some thoughts around that to be aware of. So just kind of going through a little bit about our company first, and I'm just going to breeze through this real quick because Alex covered a lot of this stuff already. But like he had mentioned, XTIVIA has been around for over 25 years, and the CRM practice really got started in 1998, which is, like he said, the early stages of CRM application and development before CRM really even was a term, customer relationship management. So I'm going to skip over the rest of these things, but one thing to point out is, like I said, we've been doing this for about 20 years now on the CRM side, and we do have experience in most of the major CRM platforms out there today. Some of these you may have heard of, some of these you may have worked with before, but these are a lot of the major ones that we've got some vast experience with over the years. But really kind of with that, you know, you may ask yourself, why CRM systems, right? And this is just kind of a saying that I really find helpful. But customer relationship management, or CRM, it helps businesses gain an insight into the behavior of their customers and modify their business operations to ensure that their customers are served in the best possible way, right? So some of you that have utilized the CRM platform in the past, you've probably already seen this, but some of you who have never used one, this is going to be something that's brand new to you. So what we want to run through now is just some of the considerations and things that you need to be aware of when you are investigating putting a new CRM solution in place. So the first question you really need to ask yourself, why are you even implementing this solution, right? Whether, again, you already have a CRM in place, maybe you're just not getting the most out of it, or it's something where you've never had one, and you're really trying to understand, you know, why are you looking to implement this new platform, right? So first ask yourself, what are your business goals for putting in this solution, right? Some examples of those business goals may be that you're just trying to drive more sales, right? You know, you don't think you're getting to the point where you really are, where you really should be, and you need something to help out there really drive more sales. And maybe expand the customer base, right? You're trying to look for more new logo opportunities, drive more leads. Maybe it's something more along the lines that you want to improve your current customer relations and current customer satisfaction. You want to better upsell your current clients. CRM can help with all of these different goals that you may have. You may also want to improve your business efficiencies. Maybe you feel like there's things that are getting taken way too much time, they're way too much manual effort to get done. Maybe you just want to leverage a CRM platform to really improve some of your efficiencies. Executive sponsorship. Executive sponsorship is always a very vital and important thing that is needed when you are implementing a CRM. It comes from the top down, right? So that executive sponsorship, whoever it may be, somebody on that executive team has to be bought into this and really involved in this process in order for it to be a successful venture for your organization. You should ask yourself, what makes your organization different, right? So we always like to say that, you know, most of these CRM applications, they really do about 80% of the same things, right? You know, they can all help you manage sales, support, customer service, your activity tracking, pipeline. They all do that, right? Some do certain things better than others. Some have some other functionality that maybe others don't, but they really are very similar tools for their functionality. So you have to ask yourself, what makes your organization different? And take that as you apply that information into looking at which CRM platform could be the best fit for you. How's this going to alter your business processes, right? One of the things we mentioned a few minutes ago is maybe you're looking to improve your business efficiencies, but how is this going to change, you know, your users, your employees' daily business lives, right? They don't have a CRM solution now. This is going to be something new that they're going to have to start managing and maybe entering some data, whether it's from their desk, from their phone, wherever they may be. But these processes can also be leveraged in a very beneficial way and utilize some of the workflow and automation capabilities that these platforms offer that maybe you don't have right now to really try to streamline a lot of your processes. So ask yourself, how is this going to alter your daily business processes? Who's this CRM for, right? CRM can help really in any, area of your business, but a lot of the main use cases are for sales, are for marketing, customer service, support, operations. But who is this CRM solution for as you're implementing it? Know those users, know those people as you're going in to think about what you want to do around a CRM solution. Know what functionality you seek out of the solution, and that kind of goes hand in hand with, who's this CRM for, right? Understand what functionality you're looking to track within the database. Is it managing your pipeline? Is it managing new leads as they come through? Is it managing your customer support tickets and streamlining that process? But understand what functionality you absolutely need out of this solution as you're putting it in place. And that kind of goes hand in hand with know the difference between a need and a nice to have. The most important things, the most vital things that you can't operate the CRM without putting those pieces of functionality in place need to be done first. If you're working with your sales team that it's all across the nation, the regional manager may want this, another regional manager may want that, but those are nice to have. Those aren't vital to the total success of the solution. You can always bring those pieces in, but just ensure that you understand what the difference is between a need and a nice to have and get the needs implemented first. So really up next is a question that a lot of people don't like discussing, but it is, understanding the budget and the ROI. What are you looking to get out of the system and what are you looking to put into it from a cost perspective? In order to be successful in this, you really need to do some research and understand, what budget do we have to spend to get this implemented, right? So you may look at a phased approach. What do we need up front to get it done? What are we looking at in the long run? But establish a budget. Understand the pricing differences and implications between the CRM products. You're going to look at some of these various CRM solutions, and some of them can be extremely pricey. Some of them can be much lower in cost, right? But you will need to understand and do some research. Okay, why is this one charging so much? Do they have a bunch more functionality that they're offering compared to some of the lower end ones, right? Understanding why those are priced so differently. And that is going to be something that you really want to take a look at as you evaluate the various products that are on the market today. Understand your total cost of ownership. And that goes right hand in hand with your short-term costs versus your long-term costs, right? How much money are we putting into this thing, both from a short-term perspective and a long-term? What's our 3-year? What's our 5-year total cost of ownership? There's a lot of different costs that go into this that you may not be aware of, right? Not only do you have the actual software itself, but the implementation services to get it up and running. Ongoing services potentially if you want to continuously make changes to it, which you always should. If you need to do upgrades and those take some effort and working with another organization to get done, what are those long-term costs from a service perspective? How about support? Ongoing support is always a very vital thing that's needed in the long-term success of a CRM implementation. Third-party application costs. There's various CRMs out there that have a very vibrant, I should say, application exchange, third-party products that you can leverage at any moment in time, and they're plug and play. Some of those have cost to them. Some other things you might need to think about is that on-premise, if you're going that route, maybe you have hardware costs that you need to maintain moving forward. But these are some of the things you need to be aware of, both from a short-term and long-term cost perspective. And then how are you going to measure your ROI from the CRM solution? What's going to be how are you going to measure that and be able to track, has this been a success, right? First, you want to develop measurements, right? Some examples around that, maybe, tracking the usage, how by department, who's actually getting in there and getting their work done. Track sales statistics since implementation. Are we seeing a rise in sales? Are we seeing a decrease in sales? Whatever that may be. Those are just some examples. But measuring the impact of this new solution can really help you not only fix problem areas, but also improve and continuously improve your implementation. And then again, measure the performance. Some examples might be, the number of calls your team's making, how many leads have been created versus how many actual opportunities won, right? So measuring the performance of your team. These tools, these metrics, again, such as these, just a few examples, can really be extraordinarily helpful in not only measuring past performance, but can also serve as indicators of future success. So make sure you develop some measurements in there that can really help you track how successful this is. Know the technology, right? So understand your internal IT resource capabilities. You know, how big is your internal IT team? Do you even have an internal IT team? How many people do you have? What is their strength? What is their knowledge and understanding the various technical languages? These can all be important pieces that you may want to research as you're looking at your different CRM solutions that are out there. What type of resources do you have in-house? On-premise versus cloud deployments. You know, most people these days are really going to that cloud option. It's easier to maintain, you know, it's easier for upgrades, all of that great stuff. And you don't have to worry about handling it and managing your own hardware and servers in-house. But some people still like the on-premise route, but understand what the difference is between an on-premise deployment on your own servers versus the cloud deployments. Understand what the different costs are. Understand, you know, what else is going to need to be maintained if we're going with an on-premise deployment. Understand out of the box versus configuration versus customization. So this is always something we like to talk about with customers because it can definitely impact your overall cost to getting it implemented, right? Out of the box is something that's already in the system. That functionality is there. There's nothing to change. You could turn it on and you're off and running. Configuration may be that you need to add some custom fields to the screens, change some layouts, add some users, whatever it may be. But configuration is really going to be that point and click, drag and drop. No coding is necessary. So those configuration changes may be time consuming depending on what needs to be done, but they're usually pretty straightforward to get done. Whereas customization is really where you're going to need to get under the hood and alter the coding of the solution. You know, it's not designed to work that way, so there's definitely some heavy customizations that need to be made. Know and try to figure out as you work with your partner on what this is going to cost, you know, what maybe need to be done in each area, because it can definitely, you know, the more customization that's needed, you know, the more time it's needed, the higher the cost may be. Mobile capabilities. So this may not be as important to everyone, but you know, we are living in more and more of a mobile on-the-go world, right? You always have your phone at your fingertips. I got the iPhone. You always have your Android, maybe your tablets nowadays. But understanding how important mobile is going to be to your implementation, right? If you're doing this with a sales team that is all working remotely, they're on the road 70% of the time, being able to access this data from their phones, from their tablets, is going to be extremely important to them. But not only accessing it, what can you do with it? How far can you extend the mobile solutions within each of these products? You know, some of these solutions, you can find their mobile app right on the Android Marketplace or the Apple Store. Other ones, they're, you know, mobile Web 5 websites that you can just access. But understanding, you know, what type of capabilities we have from a mobile perspective. And then again, going into that integration and add-on applications. So we always kind of feel that typically the most successful CRM implementations are an integrated one. You know, it's not a standalone CRM. It's integrated somehow, whether it's to, you know, your Outlook, it's to your back-end ERP system, your financial system, your marketing automation system. But being able to make CRM kind of a one-stop shop for a lot of that information that your sales or your support team may need. But understand the integration capabilities that the CRM technology you're looking at may have. Again, I referenced the application exchanges earlier. Some of these may already have add-ons that are pre-built and pre-configured out there in the marketplace that you can go plug and play and get the information that you need right there. So a question that a lot of people always have, that a lot of people are concerned about as you implement a new CRM, especially if you're, you know, an organization that hasn't used a CRM before, is how do I get our team to use it, right? You know, our guys and gals are successful doing what they've done over the years, and they haven't had to do anything like this before. So how do we get our team to use it, right? These are just some different ideas. So get feedback from your team on their past CRM experience, right? So, you know, again, if you're working with a sales team or support team to launch this, get feedback from them. Understand, you know, what have they had to do around CRM in the past? Maybe at past, you know, jobs, whatever it might be. Or if you have a different CRM already in place, still get feedback from them on that. What did they really like about it? What did they find helpful about it versus what was just a major issue and a pain for them? And take that information as you go in and start to implement this new CRM solution. But getting that feedback from your team on their CRM experience is not only going to help you make sure that you're implementing a solid solution for them, but it's also going to make them feel involved as if they're a part of it, which is going to make them happier as you launch this CRM. And kind of going hand in hand with that, make sure it's an easy to use product, right? If it's not easy for a team member to go in and search customer record up, to create a new lead, to convert a lead, to close out an opportunity, to access it from your phone, they're not going to want to use it, right? So making it an easy to utilize solution is going to always drive people to start, really getting in there and utilizing it. Understanding who your user base is. So again, this doesn't go back to just the sales team or the marketing team. That's definitely a part of it, or support team, but understanding who they are. Are they a team that's going to be accepting of new technology? Are they going to be trying to fight this? Are they maybe an older or younger team? How are they, right? How are they going to be accepting of this? But understanding who they are is going to help you kind of work through those peaks and valleys as you look to implement this solution property. And then understanding what an end user versus a power user versus an administrative user is. So your end user is going to be those people that are in there every day. They're logging their activities, building new opportunities, all that stuff, right? Power user is somebody that can be very helpful. Now, for organizations that are maybe on the smaller end, a power user may not be, needed necessarily. It might be kind of combined with the admin user. But let's say you're a big, organization. You have different sales groups, support groups. Within each of those departments, if they have somebody that they can turn to that understands not a little bit more about the technical side, but really the business side of it. Why are they doing this? They have somebody that they can turn to get questions answered, to help maybe build out reports, whatever it might be. Those power users that are someone the end user can turn to when they have questions or concerns, is going to make their lives a little bit easier, that they have those people to go to. And obviously the administrative user is the next level above that power user, but those are the team members that, again, they can manage the application, they can manage the database moving forward. They may be able to add new users, adjust security roles, build out new fields, whatever it might be. But again, somebody that's a little bit more technical, that they can help maintain the database moving forward. And then all these kind of go together towards the end, but how will this make their lives easier? Explain that to them and their day more productive. How is this going to help them drive more sales? As long as it's not a hindrance, as long as it's something that's going to be able to make them more successful in their jobs, they're going to want to use it. So give them access to helpful data from anywhere, right? So if they're, calling on customers, give them access to past ticket issues so they don't run into an issue when they get there and we get blindsided. Give them access to invoice history, order history, whatever it might be. Give them access to reports that they're going to find very useful, and motivate your team to use it however you may find that necessary. Maybe it's a financial motivation. Again, giving them that access to that information that's going to make them more successful in their daily lives is going to motivate them to want to use it. And then train some more. If you don't train your team on how to utilize the new solution, it's not going to be successful. So train them right from the get-go on how they're going to be able to leverage this CRM to make them more productive. Train them ongoing. Maybe you do ongoing, once a month lunch and learns, just a webinar where somebody from your team trains them, or you have an outside partner come in and train them. But ongoing training to make sure that they're always learning more and understanding why they're doing what they're doing within the CRM database is going to make it much more helpful. And then ongoing support. So not only internal support within your organization, but typically external support. So whoever is helping you implement the solution is typically going to offer, ongoing support as well for that product. So if there are issues that need investigation, if there are just questions, having someone to turn to that can get those answered for you is going to make your lives much easier moving forward. And so with that, the question, what to do? So first off, you should create an internal CRM team prior to selecting a solution. So again, we referenced executive sponsorship back in the beginning. Have someone from that executive team involved. Have someone typically from IT involved on this team, depending on which departments you're launching. So if you are launching this for sales, if you are launching this from support, if you are launching this for marketing, having a team member from each of those roles kind of guiding and helping with the CRM selection process, but not only this selection process, the implementation process as well, is going to make this much more successful. Speak with a CRM partner with vast experience and knowledge of the CRM landscape. This is where XTIVIA can come in. Been working with these in this market for over 20 years now, and worked with some of the many major CRM solutions in the marketplace. So speak with somebody like that, an outside team with the experience and knowledge that can help you kind of power through and understand what your requirements are, and take that information as you go to make your decision. And you don't have to do all of these, but typically some nice options, some recommendations as you're looking to select your product. Do a tailored product demo. Each of the vendors that you might be speaking to, they're gonna want to come in and do a product demo for you. Make sure it's tailored towards your business. Again, this goes back to what makes you different, right? All of these different products can help you maintain sales, help you track customer service items, but what makes you different? Explain that information to them and have them do a demo that's tailored around that information so you can see exactly how it might work for you. Maybe do a proof of concept, so a little pilot with just some certain users, some certain use cases to get a better idea on how this could work for your organization on a smaller scale. Something we typically recommend is doing out a phased implementation approach. If you try to tackle every single thing right from the get-go, it can lead to some information overload. It can be throwing too much at the team at once. So look to do a phased implementation approach, right? Let's say if you're an HVAC company, you want to roll out commercial sales and residential sales, right? Roll them out, get that in there. And then as soon as that's done, they're on the system, look to implement the next phase of functionality, whatever that may be. And it's a continuously ongoing approach. Speak with counterparts in your industry, right? Again, I just, use the HVAC example, or maybe manufacturing, whatever it might be, but speak with counterparts at other organizations in your industry and figure out what they're doing and how that's helping them and what's making them successful. What were some issues that they ran into? It'll give you a better idea on how other people are doing it. And build in success measures like we talked about earlier. Develop those measurements, measure their performance, make sure you're getting the ROI needed. And then train, continuously training when you implement this new solution. And then finally, give us a call, right? If you have any questions, if any of this is, a little overwhelming or whatever it might be, we're more than happy to speak with you as you move through this, the CRM journey, no matter where you may be at this moment in time. So, with that, that was what I had to cover today. I know we got a couple minutes left. So go ahead and answer any questions if anybody has them. So thank you for your time.
All right. Thanks so much, Mike. Looks like we do have a couple questions coming in. So okay. We'll go ahead and I'll read those off and you can give answers. So first, says, I'm not too familiar with CRM. Can you maybe explain some of the reasons or goals companies may have for implementing a CRM platform?
Sure, happy to answer that one. And it's a very broad answer, right? Because CRM really can help in so many different ways to your organizations. But this really ties back to, one of the very first things that I talked about in this presentation, and that's, you have to understand what your business goals are, right? So where are some areas in your business that you might be struggling, right? Do you feel like you should be driving more sales? CRM application can help your team better manage their leads, better manage their pipeline that's coming in, and better close more opportunities in a quicker route, right? Are you trying to just improve customer satisfaction from a customer support perspective? If you have support for your organization and customers are calling in trying to get issues resolved, how quickly are you getting those resolved for them? Maybe that needs to be in a much quicker fashion, right? But those are just some examples. Again, and improved business efficiencies is another one. If you have very manual processes, things are falling through the cracks, whatever that might be. Maybe it's in your quoting process. Maybe it's in your onboarding process. There's all kinds of different examples, but these are just some of the, examples for what are these business goals that these CRM applications can help with. And it's going to be different from most organizations. Each person may have a different use case and why they want to do it, but CRM really can help in a vast number of ways. So.
All right, awesome. Another question we have, you mentioned that you work with a few different CRM platforms. Which do you typically recommend?
It's a good question, and then unfortunately don't have a great answer for you, right? So, we do work with a number of different platforms, Infor CRM, which is formerly SalesLogix, Salesforce, Sugar CRM, Microsoft Dynamics. We work with a number of the major CRM applications on the market, right? And like I mentioned before, most of them, they're going to do 75 to 80% of the same things for you. They're going to help you manage your pipeline, help you manage your support processes. Some of them do certain things better than others. Some of them have additional functionality, right? Some of them come in at various price points, right? So these are all things that we take into account as we work with your organization and then make a recommendation, right? So I can't tell you that we typically recommend one more than any of the others, just for the fact that it really is different for each organization and what your pains and what your issues are. So we'll work with you to define, which of those may be the best fit, if it's any of those. So.
Awesome. So we got a question on our YouTube live stream. How long does it take to implement a CRM solution?
So it's a very good question, and the answer, it really is all over the board, and it's dependent on how much you are trying to tackle within that first phase, right? So, we have what we call a quick start package that's really for kind of, smaller implementations to get you up and running quickly. There's not really any integration involved. You can also be used for pilots, and that can be up and running, within, 3 weeks, depending on how quickly and easily we are able to work with your team, right? So the quick starts are, much quicker, obviously, if it's called a quick start. But there is, more in-depth implementations that are out there, right? Do you need a custom integration, to your back-end ERP system, right? If there's not already one out there, how many users are you rolling out? What pieces of the business are you looking to implement there? And maybe it's a lot. Maybe it's marketing, sales, and, customer support, all in the first phase, right? And in that case, it can take a few months, right? Anywhere between 2 and 4 months typically for those kind of larger scale, implementations, but that certainly can change, right? So it's not a great answer because it is all over the board, just depending on, how much you're trying to tackle right from the get-go. So.
All right. And it looks like we're just about out of time today. But like Mike said, if any of you have questions or want to find out more information, his info is on the screen there. And also this live session will be available on our YouTube channel later today. So definitely go back and visit it if you have any other thoughts. And thanks so much for this. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, everybody. Really appreciate your time on this busy morning. And Alex, thanks again. Look forward to working with you.